What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining me again on our Supplement Sunderday, where we are getting together once a week on a Saturday or Sunday to go over a supplement and how that can benefit our health picture, how that can improve our health picture. And the power of these supplements has been so fascinating to me because this was never something I was taught in pharmacy school. In fact, we were kind of taught the opposite back in that day. And anyways, here we go. Let's just get into it, all right? So today, I already know, you know what we're talking about. We're talking about green coffee bean extract. Green coffee bean extract, which is so much different than the roasted beans, which we are familiar with. And there are some benefits in that as well, but green coffee beans specifically is what we're talking about today. So what is it? Well, a green coffee bean is just that. It's not roasted. It's still green in state. So harvested from the fruit of like a coffee Arabica, coffee Robusta, when you see these different varietals, they're real plants. These are real plants that are grown and harvested. And instead of roasting these beans, we're extracting something from this unroasted bean, being chlorogenic acid. So how does this thing work? Well, chlorogenic acid is our magic that we're looking to extract from this unroasted bean. And it is a polyphenol by nature. And if you recall, polyphenols are rich in antioxidant properties. And that is the catchphrase we want to hear, right? We want to hear antioxidant properties because it's so cell protective for our bodies on so many levels. So when those beans are roasted, that chlorogenic acid content goes down. So for instance, a medium roast coffee loses that chlorogenic acid component by up to 60%. And a dark roast loses that chlorogenic acid compound by up to 100%. So that's why it's super important that these beans are used when they're green. Now let's get into what this thing really does in our body. Why is this important? What can this do, right? Weight loss. This has been studied on so many levels, not only in animals, but also in human studies with very good success rates, very promising results. So let's start with an animal study. It suppressed weight gain and decreased fat accumulation in mice. But then when they got to the human studies, it confirmed exactly what happened in that animal study. And here's another thing to just validate that study. They did a study in humans where they enriched normal coffee with chlorogenic acid. And the people in that group with the enriched coffee lost more weight than the group that did not have the chlorogenic acid addition. And the abdominal fat in those two groups, it was also better controlled and shrunk around these people's waistlines in the group where the coffee was enriched with chlorogenic acid. And we all know what that decreased weight size means, right? That has to do with cortisol levels. And cortisol is such an important hormone in our body that regulates that stuff. So folks that carry around less abdominal fat around their middle also have lower risk of major diseases like cancer and heart disease. So another fascinating thing in these studies, chlorogenic acid increases the level of adiponectin. Adiponectin, which is a hormone that's also linked to disease states. So when folks have a low level of this hormone, adiponectin, it's linked to a higher chance of obesity, diabetes, heart disease, arterial sclerosis, all the things that again, that weight gain is associated with and is a risk factor. So this adiponectin is very valuable when it comes to a fat burn, when it comes to increasing our metabolism. And it also decreases our blood sugars and our lipid levels. Pretty cool, huh? So now let's piggyback off that a little bit. When we talk about lowering our blood sugar, another huge thing when it comes to our health picture. This chlorogenic acid content somehow is helping our body absorb fewer carbs from our diet. And it somehow does this with our hormonal system when it again comes to decreasing our cortisol and also decreasing our insulin, which in turn has a positive effect on our blood sugars. So this green coffee bean extract also has been found to decrease a fasting plasma level of cholesterol by up to 44% and triglyceride levels by up to 58%. Now again, this was done in an animal study, but that is substantial. And because of this cortisol, that also has a positive effect on our blood pressure. And blood pressure, again, is such a risk factor for all these major disease states that people struggle with. Let's get into another one. Improved skin. Improved skin. Green coffee bean extract, this chlorogenic acid increases the hydration levels in our skin. It increases the barrier function of our skin. And skin being our largest organ, that's like a big deal. Increases the blood flow to our skin, which just gives us a more radiant and an even tone of our skin. And that also has to do with fine lines and wrinkles, and the pigmentation, just more even complexion. And another thing, increased energy. So even though these beans are not roasted and the caffeine content is much lower, there's still enough there to do us some good when it comes to focus, when it comes to energy, when it comes to cognitive function, clarity, mood, alertness, and even memory. So that's really another fascinating part of this whole thing, this whole chlorogenic acid compound. All right, now let's talk about some precautions, some safety measures to keep in mind. So of course, we've talked about the caffeine content in green coffee beans versus roasted coffee beans, but there's still some there. So if you do need to be restricting your caffeine content, pregnancy, breastfeeding being the #1 things, you'd want to keep that in mind. It's also been shown to possibly increase anxiety. So if that is an issue, if you're sourcing with a single source item versus a product that just has it in an ingredient, that would make the difference. And like a lot of supplements, if you have any type of bleeding disorder or clotting disorder, it's something that you'd want to talk to your doctor or pharmacist about. Ill effects or side effects from this green coffee bean? No, there is nothing in the literature that is going to be an issue when we just talk about a simple side effect. Now let's talk Plexus. Let's talk Plexus. There are 3 products that this green coffee bean extract is an ingredient in, okay? So Slim being the first thing, and you probably guessed that if you're already on the Plexus train. Slim is the cornerstone product. Another product is the Immune Plus, and the third thing is the Active. So let's start with Slim. Slim, again, is the cornerstone product that Plexus developed, and I will link a video in the description box where I go over the differences between the 2 varieties of Slim and all the ingredients in here that are seriously magic for our health. So if you have heard of the pink drink, this is the pink drink, this is the magic. The second thing, Immune Plus. Immune Plus also has this green coffee bean in here. Again, because it is just helping our whole health picture when it comes to hormone levels, when it comes to blood sugar regulation, when it comes to blood pressure and lipid panels. This has to do with our overall health picture. Immune Plus is an underrated product. It's under talked about it. And the more I learn about the ingredients in here, the more I am super impressed and thankful for the scientists and physicians who put this together. And lastly, but not leastly, Active. Active is a wonderful product, and when paired specifically with a couple others, it has been phenomenal for people that are just trying to lose weight. They're just not concerned about the other things. Active is a great drink. Well, that's about all I have for you this week on this green coffee bean extract that has chlorogenic acid in there. That's our magic component. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you've taken away something and validated again how important supplementation is in our health picture. And I've linked those videos in the description box for the 3 products that I've talked about today, as well as a link on the Plexus website. If that is something that you're interested in, please reach out to me. I'd love to help you get started on your journey to better health. But in the meantime, thanks for joining me on another Supplement Sunderday. Cheers to your health and happiness.